Pulled the brake line out here, the hose, it's pretty bad shape and I have new ones. So I figured it'd be easier to get that out without the trailing arm in the way. And I have my brackets out and I recorded how many shims were on each side. I have those back where they belong. There's one notch on the inboard, 2 notches on the outboard, at least on my car. And I think it's the same on the other side. And I have those shims set up as well. Now I just have to find the bolts that go through here. Got them stashed in a bin somewhere. Okay, the mounts are installed. I also put in the plugs. Those things were no joy. A little dish soap helped a lot, but it's quite a battle to get those in. So now I have a bad, I don't know if this is the rebound bumper, but both of these I'll probably replace. So I think I'll do that before I put the trailing arm in. Of course, there's no way to get that nut off because it's so tight against the sides that a socket won't even go around it. Even a 3/8 socket, I can't get around there to bite on it. So I guess I'll maybe try chiseling it off from the top or grinding it off. What a pain. Okay, ground it off. It smells really nice in here after heating up all that rubber. But I think I can see the outline of the bolt, so I should be able to punch it out now. Well, now I understand that's a captive nut down there. I should have just turned it off, but should be able to grab that with a crescent wrench. Easy enough. Okay, I got this stub out, and with my newfound intelligence, I took the upper bump stop out. Now I just have to figure out how to get this spacer off. Okay, that tapped out fairly easily, so I cleaned that up. And I'm going to chase the threads and start putting this together. The lower one is on, no problem. But, of course, another issue with the Moss part. The threaded rod length here is not right. If I put the spacer on, I don't know, maybe the spacer isn't stock, but it's hard to believe somebody would change this. This is on the old one, and I can thread it in, no problem. But on the new one, I can't thread it in. There's not anywhere near enough threads to engage the hole. So I guess the old one's going back in now. Trailing arm is in. It's not easy to muscle it into those brackets and get the holes lined up and get the bolt in by myself, but I finally managed to do it. Really, the bolt should probably go in the other way, but I think I can do it this way. Put the nut on and gradually slide it through. That was the only way I could really put the thing together by myself here. I snugged these up. I left them just tight, not torqued down, because you're supposed to let the weight of the vehicle be on here before you tighten them up. And then I did some more checking on this, and this spacer is actually present on the solid axle rear end and not on the IRS, which I have. So I don't know, somebody must have put this in when it didn't belong there, but I'm going to start with it in, and I can switch to the one from Moss that maybe is correct after all, once I see how much room I have on the suspension. So now I'm looking at this, and I think I better drain the old gas out before I put the lever shock in, just because there's more room to work in there. Get that cleaned out. The lever shock is in, and I got the gas line, fuel line separated back there. All right, largely back together. I couldn't get the lower mount on. I just had to put the washer on without all the weight of the car. If I try to jack it up, the whole car goes up. So for now, that'll have to do. I'll fix it when I put the wheel on. See, on the second arm, these plugs went in a lot easier. I did notice that the holes were actually round. The casting on the other one, they almost look like D holes, so that's probably why these went in a lot easier. I used plenty of soap, and yeah, they went in quite easy. This other thing is I put silicone grease inside of these bushing pins or whatever, just so that it can pivot easily. This car will never see water as long as I own it, so I'm not really worried about it rusting. I also noticed that the bolts for the inner bracket are slightly longer than those for the outer bracket. It was the same way on the other side. I don't know if it really matters. I just noted it and I'll put them back the way they were. It's the same number on this side. It's the same number of shims on front and back, so it shouldn't matter on this side. Okay, time to put a helicoil in here. These are fine thread into an aluminum or alloy trailing arm, and so they're strip out very easily. Fortunately, I have most of them are good. So I have the helicoil here, tap, and installation tool. So I have to drill the hole out, and I'm going to go one drill bit at a time to try and keep it straight, since I have to do it by hand. Okay, so I took 3 drill bits to take it out a little bit at a time and keep it straight, and now I'm using the tap that came with the kit. Okay, I've got this in now. Tool works pretty well. You got to push a little bit and then rotate this shaft. So they say to recess it a little bit, which I've done. And hopefully I can get this out now. Find out what the effect the Thanksgiving holiday has had on Minnesota's COVID-19 numbers. Over the long holiday weekend, Minnesota health officials reported more than 20. So now I'll just put the new stud in, hopefully. Stud is in. A little bit of the wire, the helicoil, was sticking out. I don't know if it came out when I unscrewed this tool, but I had to get that popped back into the thread so that this would go in. That was kind of a pain, but other than that, it went well.